City Plan 2040 evaluates the history of land use, transportation, and urban design, and adopts policies to be intentional about the future design and development of the city. The idea of regulating and arranging how land is used began almost as soon as human settlement began. Today, it's the very essence of city planning. Early city planning prescribed how various essential uses like the public square, sites for civic buildings, and the streets would be organized on the landscape. Modern planning, however, devolved into strategies of segregating nearly every human activity. The land use theme of this plan focuses on rebuilding much of what was lost when we started strictly separating land uses and housing types. Priority 1 is to allow what we refer to as complete neighborhoods. These are neighborhoods that have a mix of housing types and a small center so basic goods and services are available within walking distance for everyone in the neighborhood. Complete neighborhoods have some important characteristics. First, they accommodate people's entire life cycles. Second, they have a high level of economic and social resilience. Third, they have a high level of social and economic diversity. And fourth, less driving is required, and people can choose to make more of their trips by walking and biking. A significant part of this strategy is just getting out of the way. That is, relaxing our land use policies that prevent development of complete neighborhoods. Some of these policies, like zoning districts that only allow single-family dwellings on large lots, or even holdovers from racial segregation. Priority 2 is to design our city for permanence. For decades, America has been in a cycle of building the next shopping center or strip mall or housing development and then leaving the old ones behind to decay and blight. This cycle of obsolescence and abandonment is one of the most serious problems facing our city. The interventions we propose call for a return to better architecture and design of buildings and how they fit on their sites, and designing for compatibility between land uses rather than trying to wall them off from one another. We advocate 3 general ideas. First, buildings should be designed to last 100 years or more. Second, the scale and function of buildings should be oriented to people rather than cars. And finally, buildings should be designed with a future reuse in mind. Priority 3 is to encourage purposeful land use. Being purposeful means that we need to coordinate future land use and zoning to encourage arrangement of land uses in identifiable and predictable patterns. Patterns include a complete neighborhood, a hierarchy of commercial and industrial centers, parks, and natural areas. Such patterns should be considered as expressions of the principal character of an area rather than a mechanism for excluding all other land uses. Here we ask, what is the best mix of uses in this area or that neighborhood? Being purposeful means that we need to have policies that encourage active, productive uses of land that have some economic or social benefit. And that benefit is commensurate with the amount of land consumed. So for economic development, we'd start looking at the economic activity, not just in absolute terms, but in terms of the economic benefit per acre. Being purposeful also means that we should use our community planning process to develop a general strategy for each part of the city, ranging from preservation to redevelopment. For example, preservation would be the strategy that we apply to our core neighborhoods, while redevelopment would apply to underused commercial and industrial corridors. Finally, being purposeful means that we need to consider individual land uses within the context of a long-range balance of land use in the region. That means when we're looking at a rezoning, we would consider the overall supply of commercial zoning in the city. When it comes to transportation, the city works better when it has great streets that are able to multitask. Great streets connect different parts of the city and the region, and they make it easy for people to get around, and they provide access to business, and they sometimes even provide space for community activities. Our priorities for transportation are to make sure we have an excellent regional transportation network, and we make sure that our streets support all modes of transportation, cars, bikes, and walking. The way we move through our city and around our city is important to our quality of life here and to our economy. As we move forward, we'll work to create a great transportation network that can be used by all and that connects us all. We talk about urban design in the plan. The City of Roanoke is a vibrant urban center with strong neighborhoods set amongst the spectacular beauty of Virginia's Blue Ridge. City Plan 2040 aims to make Roanoke an even more attractive place for people of all ages, backgrounds, and income levels to live, work, shop, and play. We talk about urban design a lot in the plan. Urban design is how the different components of development, the building, the site, and even the street to get to it, are designed and assembled together. We also talk about different kinds of urban design in different parts of the city in what we call character districts, like downtown, urban neighborhoods, and suburban neighborhoods, and natural areas. The distinctive patterns of each character district will play a role in the future patterns of development. As we work on community plans for specific areas, we'll look at the design at the neighborhood level and assess what parts should be maintained, enhanced, or created anew. As you can see, City Plan 2040 has a lot of great ideas and important ideas that will help us move our city into the future. The plan represents a major shift away from the way we've been doing things for the last 50 years. For a better economy and for a better quality of life in the future, we must make sure we design our neighborhoods and our streets for everyone, that we use our limited land area with intention, and that we design for the future.